All right, and the show has come to an end with episode 7, P.O. Box. All right, so we were sort of right.
I mean, it tied together.
Yeah, 100%.
It did definitely tie the other ones together.
I think we guessed correct on a few things.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pleased with that because it pays off. You know, a lot of those things. It doesn't fully pay off yet because, as you had said right when this ended, that feels like a setup for a second season.
Yeah, totally.
You know, this felt like a very condensed micro MCU.
Yeah, kind of.
These were all these like little origin stories. We started like with Iron Man, then Thor, then Captain America, you know, and then we did the Avengers in the end. That's how this ended up being. Now, how people will take to that, I don't know, because it feels kind of superhero-y in the end, sort of, but I dug it. I like this episode, especially with the payoff and the mystery. So we've got this kind of like organization that for the last 40 years, which this is 2024, if we take it back 40 years, that would be 1984.
Yeah.
And our Messiah guy who gets the knowledge in order to pass it up to people like Dewey and company is created in 1985, 1 year later. So the beings who came down to protect. So it's obviously heaven versus hell, right?
Yeah.
So Agartha is the name for hell. Maybe that's...
I thought that was Inner Earth.
Oh, okay.
Not hell, just like inside the planet.
Okay, so they're like the lizard people that live in the center of the earth.
Fairies or, you know, whatever. There's a lot of stories from like around the world, different cultures about races of beings that live inside the earth. The Hollow Earth theory is like a really common thing.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
So, but then the beings that we're seeing in here that give the dude from the fourth episode,
The Encounter,
which his name is Wayu.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah. So the thing that gives Wayu his powers, that's like an angel, but they present itself as his mother. But that's why I liked the light versus the dark. That they're from hell, and you know it's heaven and hell, and these are like God's soldiers versus the demons. We get a big payoff here. I mean, as far as the story goes of her hunting them down and all that, it was interesting enough. I mean, I liked it. I liked these beings like to go around and collect special people. Of course, this reminded me of the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You know, he eats the parts of the body, and I can only assume they eat those to possess their qualities.
I don't know. They kind of just said that they were tasty because they were like the best parts, but
okay.
I think we both thought that they were going to try to use those parts to build something,
or
to
be like a
to use
monster.
it for themselves. Like maybe they're like, I want these eyes, I want those hands, but they're just eating them
because they taste good because they have so much talent in them.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is fucked up.
It's messed up for sure.
You're not even using them. You're just like, oh, these taste really good.
Yeah, and they waste the rest of the bodies.
It's interesting to me, though, that they would return a guy.
They didn't. He escaped, I think.
He escaped.
That's why they were like, we don't want...
He escaped with half his brain and he can't even function.
Well, they were like, we don't want a repeat of what happened 5 years ago.
Right.
So I think he, not half his brain, but they just took a chunk out of him. I think like one bite or something, and then he ran... got away. So they had to sedate this guy.
They're not very good then, because they let this girl almost run away too.
Yeah, totally. I love that it's just the one like handler that goes after her.
Especially when we find out that those people have like superpowers and can like, you know, send out these wavelengths.
beams.
That can like stop you and
I think
hypnotize
that they are.
you.
There's a line that one of the drivers, like earlier when she's in the trunk and the guy gets in the car, or the demon or whatever, and he's like, "You didn't even lock it," and he's like, "No one's gonna steal it." Like, and he says something about like, basically like hubris, like he just like was so, assured of himself, but he says it like, oh, it's a thing about like humans or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that applies to them in the same way that in Poems in Pain, when he like lets her go and all of that, I think they just are like, we're better than you, like it doesn't matter, like you're not going to get away, but they do get away, so it's also kind of funny.
She does get back at him, right?
Yes,
so
she does.
We get the taxi driver from episode 1.
Yeah.
We get the writer from episode 3. Mm-hmm. We get YU from episode 4. And we get Dewey from episode 5. And we get Ali, whose name I didn't mention in the last one because I thought they named him being like a thief who's just taking it because he has no other choice. They named him after Aladdin, who goes by Ali. Prince Ali. No. So yeah, you've got all those people, and then you've got like one random member of their team.
I don't know who the older
that's
lady
like,
is.
who are you? Because they don't even show her backstory, like because they do flashes
is.
of every other episode and show her. And for an instance, we thought that, but the timeline didn't match up, so we realized like that didn't work. But we thought the taxi driver was the kid grown up because he was able to heal YU.
But then they show the kid as one of the, I don't know though. I still don't feel like the kid's evil. I think that it's just one of the denizens in Agartha. Because like even the shots, like he doesn't do anything intentionally. I don't know. I know we talked about it already.
He's Damien. He's the Antichrist.
Yeah. So, but it's not him. He is definitely...
He wasn't there, though.
No, he was not. He was not.
So, I don't... the only one that was there that we recognized is the abusive husband from Poems in Pain.
Yeah.
Who comes back into this and gets his head blown up.
Yep.
We got the chick from The Boys in here blowing people's heads up.
Yeah, it's what it felt like.
It's definitely what it felt like, although, of course, unfortunately... This had really bad CGI explosions as to where The Boys gore is amazing. Yeah. Always. And yes, we are caught up on The Boys currently.
We are.
For anyone who's watching it, we love it. But yeah, so it all played out pretty satisfyingly for everyone's powers. Now, we were hypothesizing and whatnot while we were watching it, and we kind of talked for a minute after it's over, because I had suggested previously that because Dewey gets into this screaming battle, she's able to possess, and it's possible that thing in the creature in the woods. In fact, I would probably bet money that the creature she had the screaming battle with in the woods is that woman that she's screaming against.
Maybe,
that she's taken on a human form there, and that's their true form. That's what they look like, but then they like cover themselves in skin and make themselves look human, but they can't hide their eyes unless they wear contacts. But I have a feeling that's the chick she got into the screaming battle with in the woods. Okay. And she finally defeated her. But I think because she got into that battle with it, I think when you survive a battle with one of these creatures from Agartha, that you take some of their powers. And because our taxi driver guy had those, finger things put into his head, that's able to, heal by youthifying people. So it's not a huge stretch that because of that he gains the ability to use some of their powers, and he just heals his wounds. He might just speed up the like an old, right, where the
speeds up the healing time,
right, basically. So he's like making it older,
yeah.
You know, he just kind of rubs his hand across it and makes it older or younger, and it reverses it in time so that before it was cut.
And then just like later.
Or younger or whatever, you know what I mean? So I feel like
cool.
he's got his power from that being that he burned. And, you know, Dewey she teaches the ability and is able to project it into our hypnotized Ali.
Yeah.
She's able, while he's in his trance, and she's trying to get through to him. But let's call a spade here. You know, like, we're not dealing with just pure good, right? Like, Ali's test, even though he was a criminal out of necessity, not out of evil or greed. And we even hypothesized that he was under the influence of hypnosis already from his friend who was going to make him steal stuff for him. So whatever, but like, she was going to let him die.
I know, we didn't talk about that, but that is what, like, if he doesn't pass the test, he dies.
And I have a feeling this isn't the first guy she's tried to do it with, and other contestants have died. Yeah. Right?
That's what I thought too.
So they're like, oh, we're going to save the world. And I guess they see it as like collateral damage in the fight.
Greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like pure shining examples of goodness, but I like that they're all banded together and kind of fighting back because they've all had things taken from them or their life interrupted or messed up in some way. Although, arguably, Ali's is just from Dewey.
Who's missing here, though?
We're missing somebody from the orphan. We don't have anybody.
Oh, we did get someone from the orphan. It's the kid.
The kid is in the flashback of like these people, but as far as like connected. The lineup, we don't have anybody from there because we don't know what happened to his mom.
Yeah, the mom character isn't one of the demons at the table, right? There was a lot of them.
I don't think so. I mean, none that were put any attention on. I have no idea who this main lady is.
And that year was like 2022. Yeah,
it was really recent. So, I don't know. The newest woman in this, the one that like talks to the main character and mentions her eyes and is like, I'll be seeing you again. I don't know who she is. They kind of do, when the main character and her boyfriend, they do like a reverse image search or whatever.
She's like very powerful.
Yeah, they find her in all these photos with famous and important people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do feel like this has a setup for another season, which I would definitely watch.
Sure.
It's a very dramatic ending. It's very like intense and like Matrix, you even said, when they all float up and they're all wearing the glasses. And, you know, so it's kind of funny. Like, I think a lot of people watching this show probably will think it's silly, I think.
Yeah.
Depending. But I liked it. I don't know. I still had like a really good time watching everything, and I think it was good. Like, I enjoyed it. The CGI is probably the worst part, and then the fact that there were elements to the different stories that we felt were like unconnected or like not like characteristics that just were not used, and so we were kind of confused at why they were introduced.
That could be resolved in season 2.
Totally could be resolved, and you know, the CGI is just, what are you gonna do? I mean, would it be better with like either good CGI or good practicals? Yeah, for sure. But
it didn't bother me much.
It's not horrible.
Yeah,
it's not like the worst CGI I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, I accept it because of the budget, because it's Indonesian. I'm just kind of like used to it with them, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a good time. I think that I love when anthology shows like this interconnect.
Me too.
In little ways, but this one gave a massive payoff, and I think it was really necessary for everything they had set up. It was like there was a lot of things that kept getting left off on like cliffhangers. We were kind of like, that's not resolved. Yes. That's not done.
Yeah.
Right. So getting kind of a sort of conclusion here that leaves it open-ended for more, you know, but even if we don't get more, I feel there's a conclusion that's satisfying enough. Like if this is where it ends and they don't get renewed, even if there is a plan.
Yeah.
I think they did it in a way where I'm like, okay, they're fighting good versus evil. Yeah. They've assembled their super team and they want this, you know, I don't know what I don't know what like she brings to the team with her vision, right?
Yeah.
Because like,
well, her sister does say like we can see through their like illusions essentially, so that's what she's gonna bring. She's gonna be able to like
spot the fake,
yeah, or like see the demons out in the world and be like, that's one of them, and then they're gonna go hunt them or something.
But wouldn't that be Wayu's ability? He like can see.
I don't know,
because he telepathically connects with her.
Yeah,
in the
it sort
end.
of feels like I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I think that's what this girl. I mean, her eyes are everything.
Because who found them?
He did.
I would assume he did.
I'm guessing, yeah.
So if he did, that's his power.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's getting older.
Yeah.
And having somebody who can spot them as they're out in the world. Maybe he has to track down their location with a lot of sleuthing. And we also, we're pretty sure, your eye on this one, I was pretty tired in that moment. So I was like starting to kind of sleep. I didn't ever fall asleep, but I was like really tired for a minute. But it was during the P.O. Box thing. You had noticed that you think Dewey was the, male person.
I thought she was, but I could totally be wrong. I don't know.
I think you were right.
It looked like her.
Like her.
But it is funny that she's delivering the mail to the P.O. Box.
Well, that's how they would have gotten, like, how to follow them.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
You know, she goes in, she's investigating it. She puts the thing in and then waits for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It looked like her, but yeah.
Because other people have went missing. They got a lead. You know. I don't know what happened to the family before, but it felt very reminiscent of, like, the guy from Poems and Pain. Where like she went back to the house and the whole room was completely altered.
I think they did something for sure.
And they used that magic again because he's like, the water's murky. Like if someone lived there, that the pipes wouldn't be rusted like that. Right? Like they would have been in use that day or the day before, and it would take a long time for the pipes to get like that, and for the whole place to be completely cleared out.
Right.
It's like the magic. I would assume that guy or whoever he works with came in and cleared that place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would guess too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's good. I'm glad it connected things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I guess that's it. Definitely let us know. I'm sure there are other little Easter eggs and connections that we didn't catch on this first viewing. We didn't take any notes.
Nope, we just watched it.
We just winged it from our watch throughs.
Yep.
So for people who have more keen eyes than us, someone who could join this team because they got them diamond appraising, jewelry appraising eyes, that eagle eye vision. Definitely let us know. I'd love to know where you think season 2 is going to go. Are we going to continue to keep fighting the evil, building the super team? I don't know where you go with the second season. I don't know if we just follow their pursuit now. That wouldn't make it much of an anthology anymore.
Yeah.
But you could see what they were up to, each one of them, as they come together. I don't know. So, anything more?
Yeah. No, I think that's everything.
All right. Well... Let's hope for a renewal.
Yeah.
And we will cover it next season if it happens.
Yes.
And until then, we'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
Bye, guys.